This is the vacuum tool. This is what we use here. Slowly, I see a lot of shops moving to vacuum tools just for cleanliness in a shop.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the old school DAs and stuff like that. Like, I love my DA. My DA is one of my favorite tools that I've purchased. It comes into, you know, spending money on your tools.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pay for what you get, and your
for
investment
sure.
in what you're doing, you want to use a quality product. You know, you don't want to buy a $20 DA from, you know, one of those like smaller hardware stores or something like that. It's not going to do you any
something designed
justice.
for the job you're going to do.
Exactly. You know, you want something that has some finesse to it, that's not just bouncing across your panel because it's cheaply made.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to be in this, you know, this career or this industry, I highly recommend spending the money on your tools. You know, you don't need to spend money on every tool, like clip removing tools. You know, you don't need to buy Snap-on set or something that's going to cost you an arm and a leg. You can go buy plastic clip tools. They're going to work just fine. You know,
but there are some tools that it really, like, it's worth spending the money.
Exactly.
If it's your spray gun, DA, blocks.
Like, you want good blocks. You don't want to buy a cheap block set. You know, they'll do you some justice for a little while. They may warp over time because they're cheaply made.
Yeah.
So spray guns too.
And I would say, like, on the DAs, like, there's a whole host of different types that you can get.
Exactly.
And like, I know you've got your vacuum system here. Some have bag systems. Like, there's a whole host of different products.
Of different types.
Then you'll eventually find the one that you like the best.
And you just want to do routine maintenance on your tools. You know, keep the air oil in your tools. Like, don't burn them out. Don't burn all the bearings and stuff out of them because you're not taking care of them properly.
Right.
You spend the money on something, take care of it.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Like.
And what kind of papers do you, I mean, I know you've got this system, but there's a lot of different papers that people can use.
People use a lot of different, you know, there's different prep from single stage to base clear. Everything can get prepped totally differently.
And I find that, like, the different manufacturers of, like, grits, like, it just sands different. So, like,
no, there's different grades of sandpaper, I mean.
Right. And different, you know, products that they're actually using, whether it's like, I think it's calcium bicarbonate or like, there's just all these different products that they're using as an abrasive.
Yeah.
And they just function differently. And you can tell, like, when you're sanding, it's just a different feel.
It's totally different.
There's mesh papers, there's paperback, there's
all kinds.
film back, there's all these different kinds. So different ones for different jobs. So which, give us some color.
Like, they chose to use this paper because it's more cost efficient for them. I have preferences in other papers that I like better, but at the end of the day, it comes down to what they want to use. This is their shop, and I'm going to make work whatever, you know, need be. But those are designed, you know, to go on this tool because of the holes.
Right.
You're not going to put something that's solid over a vacuum. You're not doing anything.
And the purpose of these holes are really to extract the dust.
To extract the dust.
Right.
So, like, I have an old one on here right now, and then we take the used paper, you know, and, like, I have a interface pad right there for it. It's stuck.
Oh,
there we go.
Got it.
And I will use the interface pad. I don't personally like using just a straight hardback. I like to have the interface pad. But
just softens a little bit.
Key thing for that is line the holes up. Otherwise, it's going to do, you know, just if you just slap it on, slap some paper on it,
it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to channel the dust
and
properly.
It's not that hard to put it on the right way. But I will take the old paper, you know, we save it just in case. What if I have to hand scuff an edge or something like that? I'm not going to grab a new piece of paper and destroy it. You know, if I just need to do something small, at the end of the day, we dispose of everything properly. You know, we don't just keep it out. We don't throw it in the garbage. It has a place where it needs to go. So we have everything's labeled that way because it's all the same color. And if you're in a rush and you don't check, you know, the back side has what it is. Right. So, like, this one says 500 on it. If you're in a rush, they all look the same. You might grab a piece of paper. You might do a blend panel on 320 on accident.
Whoops.
I mean, whoops. You should that'll come with the territory, though. If you touch down with that, you're going to know, hey, this is way too gritty. Like, what did I just do? But that's why I label everything for everybody, just to make it simple. So, like, I know this 320, this 500,
I think
that's 800.
that comes back down to organization, too. Having things where they're supposed to go. One, like, if you didn't have 800, if this was blank, you'd know, like, oh, I got to restock.
I need to go grab some this morning. Yeah. That way I don't waste my time later in the day. But organization is key to me. I cannot deal with not being organized.
And you reach for where it is. Like, if you need 800, you're going to go there. If I need 320, I'm going to go here. Like, it's that muscle memory.
Exactly.
It saves time, and you're not searching for something you need.
Yep. So we will get on sanding this fender. I'm going to sand it with 320. It's an OEM panel. So I'm going to try to take off as much of that overspray as possible. I mean, if there's a little bit left, it's not going to affect it. You're going to sand it. You're going to scuff it. It's got sealer. It's got base. It's got clear over it. It's not, you don't have to fully strip that off. As long as you sand it, prep it properly, you're going to be just fine.
Right.
If it's a new fender OEM off the car, some manufacturers will allow you to, if it's a clean fender, you don't have to sand it. You can seal it. It's got a chemical adhesion. No sanding required on some of these parts. That also goes with your paint manufacturer. Some manufacturers are totally different.
Right.
They require, hey, you need to sand that panel.
And I think, you know, that kind of even goes back to like, go to the training classes provided by your manufacturer, because there are some interesting nuances between the different coatings.
Yeah.
And, you know, what their processes are. And some are really unique.
Yeah.
So it's important to kind of stay up to date with, like, if you're using a new product, read the P sheets.
Yeah.
Talk to your like support team, whether that's your distribution or paint rep.
Yeah.
Go to the trainings. Like, all of their websites have tons of information.
Exactly.
Use that as best you can.
You know, use your jobber, use your rep as best as possible. You know, like they're there to help you.
Yeah.
In what you're trying to do. You know, like, and if they can help you, then
right.
That's great.
Should be on speed dial on your phone.
Exactly. Trust me, mine is on speed dial.